Hi everybody, it's Morgana Galaxia. Welcome to my channel. I really appreciate you being here. I really appreciate your views. So we're here to get some tarot card reading done. I'm going to use a different spread today called the Star, and I'm also going to read one a little bit later called What the Actual for the readings that I'm going to do today. So it should be kind of fun. Just to let you know what I want to read on, I want to take a look at Ivanka's legal jeopardy. That girl is into some mischief, and I'm just curious as to what kind of legal jeopardy that she might be in. You know, she has some patents going on in China. There's word that her signature is on some checks for some questionable financial transactions. She's part of Trump organization. And so far it's kind of looking like everyone associated with that is corrupt, in peril, what have you. Ivanka's included, but things have been a little unclear for her as opposed to her brother. So anyways, I just want to take a look at what's going on with Ivanka. After that, I want to take a look at Trump leaving office. There's so much going on, so much hitting this president, and he's weathered so much. But I'm wondering, is this military thing the straw that broke the camel's back? And I don't know if I've looked at how Trump is going to leave office yet. So I just want to give a quick look-see as to what Trump leaving office is going to look like. I also want to get into Pence. Is he going to, there's a lot of talk. Interesting, I don't see a lot of talk. Michael Cohen just tossed out there the prospect of Trump resigning and letting Pence basically pardon him for everything. And so I want to look at if Pence would even do that. And if he would the US accept that pardon, or would he get basically the middle finger? Could any pardon by Trump be invalid? Not pardon of Trump be invalid. And another thing that Cohen mentioned in his Rachel Maddow interview yesterday that I found really interesting was apparently his friendship with the Falwells. What the F is that about? He's like, I just talked to them 2 hours ago. I talk to them all the time. They're the last people I talk to before I turn myself in. They're buddies. I'm curious. So I'm going to take a look at that too. That's going to be under my what the actual is that about. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to look at is Ivanka's legal jeopardy. Ivanka's legal jeopardy. Spirit, Ivanka's legal jeopardy. Can you show me in the cards Ivanka's legal jeopardy? For Ivanka, I'm going to do the full Celtic cross. All right, let's take a look down there, see what shows up. All right, Ivanka's legal jeopardy. So, the face of the situation is the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles. So this is referring to Ivanka as the businesswoman that she likes to consider herself. She's a knight. She's not the king. She's not the head of Trump organization. She's, one level lower. So she's that knight. She's got the pentacle. She's all about the coin. She's making sure and steady headway in her business endeavors. What's crossing her is the Star. The Star. Hope, optimism, is crossing her. So right now she is not feeling those things. She is, this is her challenge, holding on to those positive emotions. So that hope, that optimism is a challenge for her right now. All the S's hitting the fan. It's all hitting the fan. September is like off the hook, and I'm sure it's very difficult for her to maintain a sense of confidence in her situation right now. So she's struggling with some hopelessness, pessimism, some, those negative emotions. What is overriding this situation, what is known, is the King of Wands. Here, the King of Wands is a higher authority. A higher authority, one with good values, hardworking, productive, I want to say honest, the good virtues. I mean, the king could go either way depending on your reading here, but overriding, this is telling me she's not the boss. She's not the boss, and that she has authorities over her that are, restricting her action. So she's not calling all the shots here. In the past, what she was just been going through with the Six of Wands is victory. So in the past, Ivanka's had some victory, probably some business successes. The victory of her father winning, the presidency, her getting herself into the White House. She's been able to accomplish some important things for her. So, that is probably what she's holding on to and trying to move forward, right? Trying to have that good attitude moving forward. She's looking at, what were her successes in the past. Unfortunately for her, coming up in the future is that Eight of Swords. She's going to be constricted. She's going to be confined. She's going to be unable to move, unable to do what she needs to do to, satisfy her goals. Very often this could be someone who's arrested, right? Someone who's handcuffed, confined, in jail. That is a possibility for the future for her. More likely, she's going to be told to keep quiet, don't speak about this, don't speak about that, gag orders, her lawyer's advice, don't talk about anything, family secrets. She's going to be feeling the pressure of keeping her mouth closed and limiting her movements, feeling restricted in how she moves in the world. So she's going to be feeling the pressure, the forces arrayed against her for a variety of things. How she sees herself right now is the Hermit. So she's feeling isolated and alone. And the Hermit is about wisdom also, having that internal reflection and that wisdom. The feeling I'm getting with her is that, when she's in those quiet moments all alone, being introspective, she still feels like she has the wisdom. She knows the answers. She has the wisdom to succeed in the endeavor. I don't think she's facing her culpability, her errors, her mistakes, because that Hermit, they go into solitude to gain wisdom. How much wisdom is Ivanka gaining? Maybe she will gain some. Maybe that introspection will help her see things correctly. Her environment is the Ace of Wands. So this is a new beginning, a beginning of new actions, new projects, new endeavors. In her environment, those around her are starting new actions, starting new endeavors, starting new work around Ivanka. So I'm wondering if these little things we're finding out, right, about her writing this check or her having that, what's the word I'm looking for, what she just had in China, you know, those patents. Those things might be triggering the beginnings of work related to her. So in other words, you know, maybe some investigations, some initial review by others of what she's doing. Hopes and fears is the World card. So this is, you know, this is ultimately a very positive card. You know, normally would be a hope, but in this case, I can't help but feel this is a fear of Ivanka's. This is the ending of a cycle. The cycle that's ending for her is the ending of her being in the White House, the ending of her having so much influence, the ending of her father being the president of the United States, right? All those things is the close of a cycle. We're moving into another brand new cycle. And this is a changeover that the whole entire world is going to be looking at and having something to say about, taking a part in. The whole world is watching. For the whole rest of the world, it is going to be a positive change. Whether Ivanka sees that as a positive change, I don't know. That could be a fear or a hope, but she's going to be moving into a new cycle. As far as the outcome, we have the Seven of Cups. It's the outcome. So this is a card of illusions and delusions. This tells me that when all is said and done, she's still going to be laboring under illusions and delusions. She's still not going to have a clear sense of reality. She's still not going to see the world the way everyone else is seeing the world. This is, you know, as far as Trump goes, Donald Trump, this is his delusional nature. This might be something that he's passed on to his daughter, this inability to see the world as it really is. Illusions and delusions. So whatever her legal jeopardy might be, she's still not seeing reality clearly. So when it comes to legal jeopardy in this reading, oh, I totally missed a card. Holy moly! This one right here. What's the foundation of this reading? Look at this, 10 of Swords. Utter downfall. Utter downfall. Well, the foundation of this reading of Ivanka's legal jeopardy, utter downfall, her future, constriction, confinement, being unable to move. New actions are being taken by those around her as we speak. And in the end, she still is deluded as she ever was. So, you know, it's hard for me, of course, to say precisely what her legal jeopardy might be like. Oh, you know, she broke these laws, ABC, and this is going to be her sentence. Well, you know, I can't do that. But these cards are saying, yes, we're looking, she is looking at her downfall and a future of constriction and confinement. Is that physical confinement, mental confinement, financial confinement, all of the above? There's you know, those are all possibilities. Any and all and any combination of those ways of confinement are possible for her. So, you know, maybe I'll look at her again soon to see if we can get anything else. But for now, between that downfall card, yeah, that downfall card's really saying it. I'm trying to go through these a little fast because I normally only get through 2 readings, and I've got 4 on my list today. So I'm moving a little faster. You probably all appreciate that. I think I can get a little bratty sometimes. But how's Trump going to be leaving office? Michael Cohen is telling us that his primary fear is that Trump will not allow a peaceful transition of power. His primary fear is that Trump will not give up the office. In fact, he stated he could see Trump starting a war in order to stay in office. And, you know, that kind of seems in character to me. Extremely, you know, he exhibits extreme behavior. It's all about distraction. There's no compassion for the safety of others. So is it possible? Yeah. But that's Michael Cohen's opinion. Others, you know, is he going to resign? Are they going to yank him from office? Is someone going to have to go in there and pull him out? Is Nancy Pelosi going to have to gas him out? Is he going to go peacefully? I want to take a look because I haven't really looked at that before. So Spirit, if you can show me how Trump leaves office. Can you show us how Trump leaves office? Will he resign? Will he resign? Will he be voted out of office on election day? Will he contest it? Will he claim voter fraud and refuse to leave? Are the military going to have to go in and yank him out? Who would be, you know, who would have to go in there and grab a hold of him and get him out of there, right? How's Trump going to leave office? Well, let's take a look and see. All right. Well, how's Trump going to leave office? And right at the base of the reading is the Empress. I often consider this my Russia card. Just that Empress gives me the feeling. Generally, this is a card of abundance. The Empress is pregnant. She's birthing new creative endeavors. So this, I'm just going to, I guess, say it kind of pretty clearly. I mean, it seems like maybe Russia's got some plans percolating in the oven right there. I think there's some fruitfulness about to be birthed by Russia helping Trump keep office. So in other words, I'm saying at the base of this reading, how is Trump going to be leaving office? Russia is sitting at the base of it. They're doing something. They've got a creative bun in the oven right here. So we can expect more from them. I mean, we already know they're interfering now, but yes, they are there. That's being crossed by the King of Swords. These are the investigators. This is that higher authority searching for the truth, searching for the justice. This is the investigator who is investigating to bring to light any misdeeds, any crimes, so forth. So that is a challenge. That is a challenge to Mr. Trump. That's the sword of truth that that king is holding there. The sword of truth. Of course, the truth is always a challenge for this president. So I'm going to show these at the same time at the crowning the reading and foundational to the reading. At the top and the bottom of the reading, we have the King and Queen of Wands. The King of Queen of Wands. Sorry about that, viewers. So I'm getting interrupted today. I'm sorry about that. So I was saying at the top and bottom of this reading with the King and Queen of Wands, I'm really getting a pull to the leaders of the House and the Senate. These are the leaders. This is Nancy Pelosi, Schumer, like, oh no. So, in other words, the Congress, the House and the Senate are closing in on Trump. Closing in on Trump. You know, screw McConnell. I'm going to say this is Pelosi and Schiff. Pelosi and Schumer. Pelosi and Schumer right here. One's on top of them, one's on the bottom of them, and they're squeezing them. They're squeezing them. In the past, we have the moon. So the moon is, you know, the lies and deceit, those things that occur under the cover of darkness, you know, the disillusionment, just those sort of shadowy, shady kind of things. This is the past. So when asking how is Trump leaving office, this is pointing to the cheating that he did in the election, really. You know, he's post office, voter suppression, you know, sending in paid militia. Who knows what he's doing? He's cheating. That's what this is right here. In the past, what the energy he's moving into in the future here is the magician. So the magician is the manifester. He can create, he has all the tools that he needs to create something out of nothing. So look, this I think is Trump being the magician, right? Trying to distract us with, he's creating this story over here and creating that story. It's like magical fireworks. Look at this, look at that, look at this, look at that. That magician is just throwing things out there to distract, to get us to look the other way, to take our attention off things. You know, that is what he does. That's his magical power. That's his magical power, and he's going to be continuing to use that going forward. So look for more distraction. Look for him making stuff up out of nothing to manifest whatever it is he's trying to manifest. How Trump is leaving office is what I'm asking. And how does he see himself in this situation? As the devil. As the devil. You know, this speaks not only to Trump's sins. Okay, you know, I don't necessarily want to use that religious word, but this is the greed, the malice, the cruelty, the corruption, all the negative things about him is embodied in this card, but he knows it. He knows it. This is a part of narcissism, right? Those people who act like they're better than everyone else, it covers the inner self-consciousness. These are people that have a inferiority complex. So he, however removed it might be, or however hard it is for him to look, there's a little tiny, at least a little part of him that knows that he's a fraud. He knows that he's just wrong. I mean, think about when he was responding to the military attack, you know, calling them suckers and losers. And his defense was, I never said that. What kind of an animal would say that? What kind of an animal? The fact that he would use that word shows you that he knows how horrible that action was. There's a part of him that knows. Influence, you know, of his environment and the environmental influences is the emperor. The emperor. So this is him. He's just not in charge. He does have a higher authority, you know, to answer to. Really, that authority is our Constitution, right? Our Bill of Rights, the rule of law. That's what the emperor is. That's the ultimate ruler, the ruler of law. that Trump cannot get beyond. You know, the law of constitutionality, our Bill of Rights, et cetera, those things will always keep him in check. Once those things no longer do, then we know our democracy is broken, right? So in his environment, he has got the rule of law and all our founding documents and all our founding traditions and everything that is the foundation of our democracy coming down on him, So in hopes and fears, he has the Knight of Cups. So this has got to be a hope that someone's going to come to his rescue. Someone with emotion towards him, with good feelings towards him, is going to come and rescue him. I don't think that's going to happen. Maybe he's hoping Mr. Putin can do something, but I don't see that likely. The outcome is the Five of Wands, infighting. So this card is telling me that if we're dealing with an election day and being voted out, he's going to contest. You know, if it has to do with him resigning, I don't see. This doesn't indicate to me that he's going to resign. He's not walking away here. He's fighting. So I don't see a resignation here, unless people are clubbing him to death, or, you know, but that's forcing him out, right? He's going to have to be, this is telling me there's infighting and that he's going to have to be removed, that this is not a voluntary exit. This isn't a voluntary exit right here. Nope. I think, see all these wands that are fighting. Here we go back, the King and Queen of Wands. This is their troops. So Trump is going to be fighting the actions of Pelosi and Schumer and the Democratic leadership. They're going to be trying to get him out with all the laws and all the rules that he's supposed to adhere to, right? The foundational documents of our democracy. So that's what the cards are showing me today. No peaceful exit, nothing but fighting, and it's going to take effort to remove him. So even if it's a bunch of recounts, even if it's, you know, a contested election, something is going to be happening before he exits. Yep. Okay, so I want to look at this issue, this question of Pence pardoning Trump. Pence pardoning Trump. So Michael Cohen so generously threw out a nice solution for Mr. Trump. Probably, honestly, the best solution that he might be able to work out, which is resigning and having Pence pardon him. Now, obviously the reading I just did doesn't show him resigning, but I still want to ask a question. Would he be willing, you know, if he's willing to resign so Pence can pardon him, would Pence do that? Would he feel emboldened enough to pardon a hated president over, you know, just a blanket, I'm going to assume, a blanket wide pardon over whatever his legal jeopardy is that Pence can pardon? Would Pence pardon Trump if he got to sit, you know, trying to picture this in my mind, if he got to sit at the Oval Office behind the Resolute desk, he gets sworn in as president, and he's sitting there in that office, is he going to willingly sign a pardon for Trump? Because at that point, Trump is completely vulnerable. Pence is sitting in power. He could throw Trump under the bus like Trump has done to everybody else. Or he can continue to be loyal. So would he So I'm going to use my new spread for this called the Star. Let's see. Let's take a look at it. All right. All right. So the root of the matter, temperance. Temperance. This is moderation, acting prudently, carefully, in a balanced way. That is the root of this situation, this question about Pence. So, for the matters concerning the heart and relationships, the lovers. So Pence and Trump have had a very strong partnership. You know, Pence is probably one of the only people who survived relatively intact through this administration. He's been a loyal minion from the very beginning. They have an agreement. They've got a commitment to each other. He's been a loyalist. So that is the heart of their relationship. So yes, there's a union there of some kind. This is matters concerning the mind and career. Ace of Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles. So this tells me that Pence is concerned with money and new beginnings. So if, obviously if he did step into the presidency temporarily until, I'm still going to say, change of administration, if Trump resigns and, Pence temporarily takes that seat, he's going to be feeling the power of the money. He's going to be looking at new financial opportunities. I wonder if he's going to be asking for that handout, for that payment. So you see that hand right there? Give me the money. Give me the money for the pardon. Always about the money. So this one is just the heart of the matter. Would Pence pardon Trump? Would Pence pardon Trump? The Chariot. So generally, this is considered a yes card. This, indicates speed of action. So to me, I would say yes, he would pardon Trump, and he would do so quickly. He would do so very quickly. There wouldn't be a lot of time between a resignation and a, January and a change of leadership. So yes, he would try and get some action done expediently. So unconscious desires. So would the unconscious desires, whether in asking if, Pence would pardon Trump, would be the Seven of Wands. So what I'm feeling with this card is, he would definitely be beating down opposition to this action. There would definitely, obviously, be people who would be asking him not to do this, threatening him not to do that, fighting against this action. But he feels he has the advantage. He would be the president after all, right? He's got the bigger stick. He's standing on top of the world. He's got the advantage to beat back the opposition. Conscious desires, the Sun. So the Sun being clarity and optimism, and basically a showing of the truth, right? The sun shines on all the dark places. You could see everything there is to see. It's enlightenment. So his conscious desire is enlightenment of hope. So this tells me that if he does indeed pardon Trump, he is going to feel like it's the right thing to do. He wouldn't necessarily be doing it knowing he's wrong. He would think that that is the correct action to take. He would be happy with that action. And you know, it's interesting because when you pardon someone, if someone accepts a pardon, that is an admission of guilt. So that has its own repercussion. That's a type of clarity as well, if Trump would accept that pardon, accepting his guilt there. And the conclusion is the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles. So this is money news. Someone is coming to him with an offer. Someone's coming to him with an offer, which is very conveniently going to meet his outstretched hand, looking for a handout. So what this reading is telling me is that yes, Pence would pardon Trump. He would do so quickly and expediently, and he would actually think that it's the right thing to do, and he's going to get some financial benefit from it. He's going to get some sort of financial reward or payoff or bonus or some kind of opportunity. Some money is going to come to him. Here it is on its way. Some money is going to come to him for this. So yeah, I think that if this timeline plays out, if Trump resigns to allow Pence the opportunity to pardon him, yes, that would happen. Pence would take that step. He'd do so happily, and it will put some money in his pocket. One of the things I was curious about, if Pence would pardon Trump, would it be valid? Could it be invalidated? Would, you know, if Trump's presidency is illegitimate, that means Pence's vice presidency is illegitimate. The House, the Senate, the military, the judiciary, intelligence, they could all basically get together and say, F you, Mr. Pence. You can't, you know, this is an illegitimate pardon. You're an illegitimate vice president. You cannot perform this pardon. So essentially I'm asking, would the remainder of the government accept a Pence pardon? I just want to do a really quick 3-card spread on that. Let's see what this says. So would the United States, the rest of the government, willingly accept a pardon from Pence? And say the devil. So, you know, basically this is a no card. I think this is showing us on the face of that would be, you know, pardoning Trump would be egregious. It would be sinful. It would be getting him off the hook, having him not have to deal with any consequences for his action, letting all the evil that he's wrought go unaccounted for, right? Which in it itself is an evilness. I think this is the face of that pardon. That would be so bad for the country, so bad for the country. What's challenging that is the King of Wands. So, you know, this was my Schumer card just a little bit ago. I'm going to say what's challenging that is the leadership in Congress, right? That's the Senate and the House leadership is going to be challenging that. So I would say that if Pence goes that route, Pelosi and Schumer and the Democrats are going to be fighting it hard. The outcome is victory. So whose victory, though? Pence's victory or the United States government's victory? Who's going to be the victor there? Let me pull a clarifier on that one. Spirit, can you tell us who's the victor? Is that Pence and Trump? Or is that the Democrats, Pelosi, and those, and the military, and everybody who would fight against this pardon? Who is that? The Chariot. Well, according to this clarifier, very swiftly is going to be coming justice. So very swiftly, on the heels of this victory, very quickly comes justice. You know, again, tarot sometimes can be like this, you know. Justice is not in the eye of the beholder. Justice is about law. But if you're a Trumpster, justice would be him being pardoned, right? If you are a law-abiding citizen, justice would have that pardon not fall through. So I think I'm going to have to look at that question again. I'm going to have to look at that again a little later to see if I can get something a little more clear. So lastly, I want to look at that conversation, that statement that Cohen was making about the Falwells and them being buddies and talking on the phone all the time, and they seem to be pals. And what the hell's going on there? Because last I checked, Michael Cohen was, a jailed, disbarred liar who was a president's goony fixer. Threatening people, just all those terrible things, right? Everything that Michael Cohen is. Jerry Falwell Jr. is supposed to be the leader of a church, a religious leader with all the values and morals that's supposed to go with that. And yet we just found out that him and his wife are a little pervy. And they do a little, sexual peeping and sharing and switching, and so they're a little pervy. And they lie about it, and they're hypocrites, and of course they lead a double life. Because you can't lead a church, a very conservative, anti-gay, anti- whatever, just a conservative church on the surface, and then be all pervy on the down low. So that's what's going on with the Falwells, and then they're friends with Cohen, who's kind of a little mobstery. I want to take a look at that. And this is going to be my what the actual is going on with that. So, this is what the I'm messing this up for you guys. I'm sorry. What the actual fudge? Question mark, exclamation point. All right, let me just get my paper so I'm making sure I don't miss anything. All right, so this is the face of the challenge right here. This is the crux of the situation. The Six of Wands and the Five of Pentacles. So the card of poverty and the card of victory. Interesting. One of these is Cohen and one of these is a Falwells. So I'm going to say these are the Falwells getting busted, kind of having their relationship with the church. They're a little ostracized right now. They had their dirty laundry aired. They're having some trouble with the church and their hypocrisy. And here's Cohen, who, whilst gets to spend his time in jail from home, who gets to publish a book and make a lot of money on it, who gets to go on Rachel Maddow and, gets to kind of nip at the president's heels. So here's these two guys. Here's these two people or family. That's the what. That's what I'm asking for. What the hell's going on with these two? This is actual. What is real about this? What is real about this? Four of Wands. So this is about home. It can also be about moving. You know, when it comes to political readings, this often appears as the White House. So the feeling I'm getting around this is maybe family relations with political access. I think this is accessing the White House. So I don't know how long Cohen and the Falwells have been chummy, but I wonder if it kind of started after Trump was either a candidate or the president. This might be relating to, ooh, I'm going to sneeze. Hold on. Sorry about that. So this tells me maybe there's some part of the root of this friendship is some access to the White House. What is wrong about this? We have the Eight of Wands. What is wrong about this is a lot, right? There's a lot. The Falwells hypocrisy, Cohen getting out of jail for coronavirus, serving at home, all the things that Cohen did wrong, you know, serving Trump, Jerry Falwell's underwear pictures. These are all the accusations, all the shenanigans that have come back to hit them and attack them. So this is kind of, yeah, like, what the F is up with all of this? So this is the question mark. Where do I need more info? Here's the Chariot again. Where do we want to look for more information? We want to look at this is the vehicle. You know, the Chariot is, you know, it's fast moving, but it's the vehicle that gets you there. And you can see that there's, in this case, there's sphinxes, but there's a black one and a white one. So this indicates the light and the dark, the balance. There's definitely a light and dark element here with these two being buddies, but this Chariot is a question. This is where we need to look for more information. Something's happening fast. Something's happening fast. I don't think we know this yet, but with Cohen's book coming out and the Falwells still going through what they're going through, there's a battle on its way. There's a battle on its way. So we're going to find out more information from that. And finally, the exclamation point. What can be done about it? It's a decision. It's a decision, a pivotal, critical decision. What decision needs to be made? Let me get into this energy for a minute. Thanks, everybody, for waiting there. You know, I wanted to get into this, the energy of this card, to figure out what this decision is. And you know, where I'm going with this is, now that Michael Cohen has spilled the beans, he's made this relationship known, lots of people are going to be asking questions. What the fuck? I think Michael Cohen is going to be at some point pressed to not only explain the relationship, but to give up the goods that he might have if he knows the Falwell really well. And right now, that's what he's doing, right? He's out on the book circuit giving up the goods. He's giving it up on Trump. Is he going to stop there? Or did he make a mistake and now he opened a new can of worms for people to ask about the Falwells, and he might be called on to decide if he wants to spill those beans and give up some info on them as well. So Michael Cohen's going to have to make that decision, I think, coming up very soon. And it's going to be coming up very soon because there's this is like people bum rushing on this, like, what are you guys doing? Why are you friends? Why is this pseudo mobster friends with a religious leader? Lots of people are going to be asking lots of questions, and I think Michael Cohen made a boo-boo, and he's going to have to decide how he wants to move forward disclosing this relationship. So that's what I got on that. Look forward to seeing if anybody even caught that and asked about it or anything, because it just kind of just came and went during that Rachel Maddow interview. So everybody, thanks again for visiting my channel, sticking with me through this tarot read. I'm really grateful for your views, and I encourage you to ask any questions or, leave any comments or anything like that. And of course, and maybe one of you could be my first subscriber. So anyways, take care, everybody out there. I hope you stay safe and love each other, okay? Take care.